Hi folks, this is Jimmy on the mountain. I want to show you this thing. I picked it up on the east side of the mountain here, where the ridge goes down into a swampy area. And this stone was one of the stones I found. Brought it back, I cleaned it up, it had a lot of moss on it, and I brought it home. I haven't really looked at it too much, but I knew there was something about it. And if you look at it closely, if you can see it, there's a notch in there. And it was carved out. You can see how it was carved out. So there's a notch at the bottom. That's the bottom. It's got a bit on the front where it should be. If this were a hammer or an axe, this is where the bit would have been. It's sort of worn away and beat up. It's very ancient. I'm showing you this because of the size of it and how old it is. And there's other reasons also. And I looked at it closely. There's a lot of signs of being carved out and notched out. And there's certain tools that they use that you have to recognize. They didn't use steel tools, but they did know how to carve stone, how to carve quartz. And they left a lot of the stone they left it a lot of the natural shape to it, and they brought out images in their stones, like a bear or a human, a face, elephant, a mammoth, or a cat. And this is a cat stone, I believe. It sort of has that look to me. And I say that because this stone was found in the east wall. There's 3 walls up here. There was a wall built on the top of the ridge, the center wall where the serpent wall is. Part of that wall was rebuilt with stones that were shaped like cats and lions and wild cats. And they were old stones, and it looked like whoever built the wall used old stones to build the wall that they had found laying around, or rebuilt it. But they used stones that were carved, and not the type of stone you'd put in a wall. If you know, why would you carve a stone? And I don't know, but this is so old and beat up and worn out. It's been in the ground a long time. You can see the rust on it. It's got this white layer on it, which is probably there a long time. But it's also a notched axe. It's got a notch all the way around it, all the way around. See it? There's a notch up there where it would have been tied on. Goes down there, comes up this side, up the top, all the way around. It's a notched axe, and it's very old. And if you don't look at it, you might just put it in your garden and say, wow, that's pretty stone. But it's so old and so worn out and so rusted away that it's got big holes and pits in it. And it would have looked very different when it was made. But it was made, and it is an axe, and it is very big. And it is cat, feline. And there were people here at one time that put that into their weapons and their stones, and I found others. But they're very old, and I haven't really shown them because I found a lot of bears and a lot of serpents, and these were the old stones in the old part of the wall. And I had broken the wall down for a reason. that part of the wall and found the stones in there. Pretty cool, isn't it? And it's a piece of blue quartz, which was quarried up on the mountain up there. This type of quartz. There's a bit on it right here. And whatever happened to it, it was lost, put down, or whatever, but it was in that a drainage going down to the swamp, not far from the wall that's back there, the very ancient wall that my friend Dave and I were up looking at it one time, and we found some really cool, very cool things in it. And I've looked at it a few times, but it's a tangled mess back there with trees falling and swamp, and it's hard to get a really good view, but there you go, a giant axe. And I show this because the more I look at the subject, the more I can see that there's a lot of information here that you're not going to see or read anywhere. And I wouldn't talk about it, but I found it here accidentally. That's why I'm talking about it. I never knew anything about Randall Carlson or any of his talks or lectures or books talking about sacred geometry and lines and ancient people and cultures. And Brian Forrester, never saw any of his videos walking through Peru and the skulls. And when I found this wall, I found a researcher who is local, his channel, Budcat7, and he was talking about the stone walls in New England. He didn't buy the line at all that they were built by colonials. He just didn't buy it. It took him a while to express it through a few videos, but he did. And in doing so, we sort of got together and started looking at these things. And we found that there's a language in the walls and in the artifacts built into them. A way of reading it, I don't know, but the way they built things was very, certain things was very structured, and they used the earth. Whoever was here a long, long, long time ago. I mean, longer than I can imagine, I think. It's what I'm seeing. And I wouldn't say these things except I've been thinking about it a lot, and I don't see any other way of expressing it. There's an archetype. I don't know if that's the right word, but an archetype. The cat, the bear, the snake, that you can follow through the artwork of these people who did this. And the bear. And the elephant. And the reason I was going to make a video today was to show you this mammoth stone. Cute little elephant here. The top of the head, the trunk, the eye, the ear. And if you rotate it like you can in a lot of these stones, you'll see another mammoth with the ear, the head, trunk. You rotate it, you'll see another one. Top of the head, the trunk. That's how they made their artwork in their stones. And I was going to show this stone and rotate it around and show you that, you know, there's things in these stones that they put in there. And you can see the tool marks and you can see how they did it, but that's mammoth. This is cat. This is human. It's got humans in it, people. It's also got a serpent on it. See the zigzag coming down, built into it? I mean, that's how they express themselves, through things like this. It was very, very, very intense. I mean, they used the earth, they geoformed it over large areas, not over just acres, but large areas. The end of this mountain that I live on is the end of at least a 10-mile ridge that goes right to Mount Ascutney, which is a 3,150-foot mountain. It's a huge rock. Looks like a volcano. That's what it's shaped like. It has this weird scoop out in the top of it, which makes it look like a volcano, which it isn't, but it's pretty cool. There were people here a long time ago, and this is what they left. Things like this. It's not an arrowhead, so it doesn't look like an arrowhead that you'd walk along and pick it up off the ground. But it is an artifact, and there are tool marks all over it. And the same type of tool marks I see on many other things I find. I even have many examples of the tools. Lots of them. I don't know what else to say right now, except that keep your minds open, pick up rocks, look at them, try to find archetypes or similarities or things that are the same over and over and over again, like serpents and birds and humans and cats and elephants and Mayan looking people and bears. I just happen to live on the top of this mountain, which is a quarry site, and it was an ancient quarry site, and I just happened to find all this stuff. Never collected an arrowhead in my life. I just happened to come on this stuff, and I came with a clean mind about it, but I have a background in art and art therapy. I've been an artist a long time. Used to teach art. I used to collect stones, use them for healing and many other things. Long time ago, many years ago. Stones were important to me back then, and I did a lot of artwork that had a connection to an ancient American or Native American type of feeling. And I had a thought about the cone heads, the elongated skulls, I guess, because I painted them back in the 90s, and the stones are alive. And there we are, here on the mountain, with ancient feline stones. And there were cave bears and lions and all kinds of animals here. There was an American lion not long ago, I guess, many thousands of years, but it was here. American lion. It's heavy stone. There you go, folks. Jimmy on the mountain with the giants.